I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice.
Do your own research.
Consult a professional investment advisor before making any investment decisions.
This show is for entertainment only. Faites vos propres recherches.
Here we are
in another episode
of the Simple Success Podcast.
And
this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective.
Something making you extra happy today?
I love your podcast.
Besides Alexa, I mean. Math? The Merriam-Webster version? Algebra? Analysis? Game theory? Geometry? Optimization? Probability theory? Statistics? Or trigonometry? Nothing that hard or substantive. The singular version, not the whole development of mathematics. Just one? I'm not British, where they have more than one math, where they have maths. Oh, like in maths, I get it. Which you don't like to do. 1 + 1 equals... No one likes a DT, but the answer is 2. Where is this leading? And 2 + 2 equals... 4. Did you just become a math teacher or something? Show me the positive development here. Maestro, I am not. I prefer the student or learner title. Okay, so what are you counting or adding up? Or should I say practicing? Competitive games? I am adding up all the good changes I have made through listening to this. Oh, great. Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I'm looking forward to hearing more. As is said, 1 step at a time. Ah, so you're counting the steps you've made to progress. Cool. I step count too, and it's not a zero-sum game. No, only fun games. But enough of this small talk. Sums are maths, and maths are sums. True, but the investing topic today is about not having a zero-sum game. Not a zero-sum game? Is that a new game I need to know of? A non-zero-sum game is when there is no winner and no loser. It's like a win-win situation. Okay, so it's not a win-lose. Then is it a lose-lose? No, a lose-lose would be losing twice or everybody losing. Game metrics. Muy mal, mi amigo. More winning then? That would definitely be my choice, given a choice. So, your gain would not be my loss. Right. Or the other way around either. Therefore, in a zero-sum game, there is no win-win. Any net improvement would be 0. Correct. There has to be an action choice, a winner and a loser. By some definition, anyway. That's the idea. But if we all win, then we all lose. No, that's not true. It's 17th century thinking at best. It's an attitude thing. We can all win together. You mean by being nice to each other? Not so being nice, but yes, we can win and be nice both. So, not the causality, but the reward. There you go. Why is this important to successful investing? This isn't the tie-in you always want, is it? Nay, maybe not, but it is consistent with that, right? Consistently. Quick, topic change here. What were you thinking of? What was I thinking?
Yes, that's what he said.
Thanks, Karen. A zero-sum game is a game where there is no net benefit or net loss for the system based on the outcome of the game. Wait. Example? In a zero-sum game, it is possible to gain more than your opponent loses.
Talk about deep learning.
I see. What's your name again? Arthur?
Arthur.
For example, if you play chess against someone who has a better understanding of the game, you will always lose because he or she already knows all the moves. This makes sense. On the other hand, if you play chess with someone who has less knowledge about the game, you could actually win, but they could be winning too. Why? Because they are learning from you how to win next time. So you both win, just from different perspectives. That's correct. Another example of what should be seen as a non-zero-sum game is a contest between two ships, although it may appear to be a zero-sum game at first glance. Okay, how so? Because a victory for pirates would be a gain of wealth and resources and men as prisoners, and a loss of the opposing ship. Wait, but the prizes and losses are different for each party. Right, so that's not a zero-sum game. A win for the pirates is a loss for the whole system and the international community in that case. That means we'll have to have some good win-win examples in Act 2, doesn't it? It does mean that, which is very fair in my opinion. Real quick first, though, who in the world came up with this choice of action concept? The zero-sum principle originated from the idea that one cannot win without the opponent losing. Although we don't know if anyone ever said this was incomplete, the very invention of the win-win concept means that it is flawed. Flawed? Why? The modern understanding of economics expands the scope, explaining that some competitions don't fall under this category. It is possible for everyone involved to register a win. So, in other words, we're talking about an economic zero-sum game. It could be in anything. Most importantly for us, finances and economics. All parties involved in trade benefit from it. Just like in Think and Grow Rich. I have to like the analogy, but please tell me how. That book is about success in all areas, not just money, wealth, and investing. True, but it's critical thinking in all of those areas. How do I benefit from trading with you when you sell commodities to me at an exorbitant price? I think it's a loss on my side. You're putting assumptions into that statement. Critics of game theory would be all over that. I am? Yes, you've set up this idea that I am charging you an exorbitant price. The price is wrong, so you can't benefit. Objection! Leading the witness. Overruled. One thing at a time. One subject at a time. So, how do I benefit from trading with you at a fair price? You can be learning what works for me, and you can be learning what works for you. That leads to win-win deals. That would make me a better trader. It would, as long as you're willing to pony up the time and patience. So where's the win for me? Didn't you get what you were looking for? Are you not going to meet a need with it? That's the win. Oh, well, now that you've said that, I realize that life is not a zero-sum game. It's true. Everyone can win. We just all have to realize that the rules might be different sometimes. Even this upcoming break is not a zero-sum game. No, even this break is not a zero-sum game. We're all winners here. What if we both lose? Well, then we'll learn something about ourselves. Like what? Like when we need a break. But I'm already there. Now you're where?
Break number 1.
Hello, everyone. This is John with the Simple Success Podcast, financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Because we know you want to show us some serious love in return for the tremendous benefits you get from us. Please head over to the support link in our written show notes. That's the words on your podcast player. There, you can choose from a $9.99 per month doing level of support, a $4.99 knowing level, or a basic intro level of just 99 cents per month. Great place to start, whichever you choose. Thank you so much for helping us do this for you. And to leave us a voice message, which just might see the light of day in a future podcast, go to those same written show notes. You'll go to a site where you can leave a video, audio, or text-only message, depending on how you feel at the moment. You can also send us an audio file attached to an email if you use just more than your phone for stuff. I won't repeat those links because weird. And anyway, show notes. It's all in there, and it's all easy. Welcome back, everybody. Except you. Wow. Care to expand on that? It's just an example. An example of what? Something we're talking about, I hope? Yes. It's an example of a situation that is not a win-win. But it's not something to practice. Not for us, anyway. Lo siento por el ejemplo mal. Me too, but let's find the good in this. Yes, there has to be some here. Like, it's a start by telling us what not to do.
That's good.
Thanks, Fiona. Do you have an example of a non-zero-sum game experience? Like from a masterclass or something? No, from your actual life. A real, definite action you took. Can you make that easier to say? Yeah, tell us about a win-win. Stories are relatable, you know. Oh, yeah, okay. I have several I could tell about. But I'll use stories from a book you're familiar with. Which book? Think and Grow Rich? Surprised you should not be. The first story is about the transformation of the guy that learned a costly lesson from quitting too early. So, 3 feet from gold is really 3 feet from winning. Yes, it is.
Never forget to remember.
No kidding. Don't tell me this guy had a comeback win. It would be hard to recover from such a bad decision. Yes, it would be hard, DT. but you can recover from any tragedy, just like R.U. Darby did. And after he gave up the gold mine, he learned a lesson of persistence. He later learned from that experience and succeeded in insurance.
He was selling insurance? We're not talking about that here, are we?
No, we're not. At least not today.
Then what?
Maybe the most important point of the whole Think and Grow Rich book.
Which is?
And I quote,
I see the air quote fingers going there.
Every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage.
Every adversity brings with it the seed of an equivalent advantage.
It says that?
In a couple of places. One being on page 55 of my copy of the book.
You said you had a few examples. Which is the other example?
Same book. Remember the man who thought his way into a business partnership with Thomas Edison?
Not Edwin C. Barnes again.
Afraid so, but the good news is that you've already heard the story.
Along with everybody else. And the lesson here is?
Barnes came expecting a direct partnership with Edison. Instead, he was given something less than that. Something that would seem to be more of a time waster in today's career world.
But he grabbed the opportunity.
He got his foot in the door. As is sometimes said, that approach turned the air quotes loss into the actualization of his goal.
He was a winner, just in a different way than expected.
You're right there. And the guidance you and I and other investors can get from Old Sub can give us a win that looks and feels a bit different from the expected, too. We really should not have an attachment to the outcome.
Just having an outcome means that the thing is manifested.
It does, and we learn not to become disappointed when our miracle is, for example, the wrong color.
Things don't always have to be different.
Could, since you're so predictable.
Why are you saying that?
I'm saying that so you'll just say the break word.
And make Daniel's life easy? No way. He has to work for it.
Oh, okay. Or we could fake DT out, and I could...
But first, break number 2.
We know a lot about you already, because we know ourselves. For example, we know that you know how to listen to our podcast. We also know that you probably know how to subscribe. So as soon as you're done with that, tell us your story. We have ways you can contact us. It involves a special link where you can leave us a message. We may have an email address for you as well in the future, and we'll let you know if that happens. The reason for subscribing? I thought you'd never ask. When you subscribe, you automatically download all future episodes of that podcast. It just happens in your player without you having to go search again. How cool is that? This means better rankings for the podcast, more attention from advertisers, and more money. And this means more and better stuff for you. So your motivation is simple and easy. Subscribe today, whatever app and from whatever place you like. And don't just try to subscribe. There is no try. There is only do. We're changing the way we look at things, and remember, that's good. Eso es bueno, sebo. Also remember, this is financial life coaching from a happiness perspective. Coaching happiness. Our call to action is right in the show notes. Find it, and you win too.
Can I simple that?
Por supuesto. Of course. Just simple it.
Please make sure your seatbelts are fastened and your tray tables are in their upright position.
And make sure simple is a verb like Google is a verb.
Before the second break, you gave me examples of people who experienced the non-zero-sum game concept. Could you please tie it into investing?
Sure. In wealth creation, there's nothing but gains. You win some, you win some.
I'm quite skeptical of that, but forward you may go with this tale of joy.
Marvelous. One can be discouraged by losses and even become risk-averse. While it's being in the game and looking for the advantage that really matters, you should always think like a rich person when you venture into an investment.
Like, I will make a profit out of this investment?
Exactly. And another phrase, that's a lucrative deal that should not be wasted. Or here's a good one. It may not look like much now, but in the future, I will be a millionaire.
Speak the things that are not, as though they were.
Close, DT. Speak the things that are the things you want. Speak them into being. You may lose now, but gain in the long run, all by yourself.
Why shouldn't I just reduce my expectations?
I thought for a minute you were going to ask, why not throw in the towel? What does that mean anyway? It's a boxing term. If the trainer thought his boxer was going to lose, he would do that like a surrender flag.
Oh, nice sidebar there, John.
Thank you, kind sir. I try.
There is no try.
Yeah, right, Yoda.
Are you tying yet?
If you're paying attention, I am.
That's not what I ask.
Sorry, I guess I was distracted.
Okay, let's get back to your original point. Thing about investing is that you do it, and you tell yourself that you haven't missed any boats.
Sure, like I keep saying.
So, you don't have to worry about missing anything because you've already been on every boat.
That's an attitude and a viewpoint, but yes, that's part of it.
What's the rest?
You've planted and harvested that seed.
That seed of equivalent advantage?
The very one.
How so?
By looking around at all the things you can do, picking one to start and starting it.
Paying attention to what?
To the opportunities that exist.
Wait, I'm confused. You said that if you had invested in Amazon, you would have missed out on other investments. But now you're saying that you've already done those other investments. Which is it?
Both.
Both?
Yes.
How?
By patiently practicing.
So that the unknown becomes the known.
Yes, which is how we can win-win.
I want to have that mindset in everything. Think and grow rich.
Ah, hearing those words from you, from anyone, makes me happy.
I promise to speak more of them from now on.
Which is how you've all gotten good.
Gracias por escuchar.
Salut. À la prochaine.
This podcast and our other podcast are productions of Little Red Hen Industries. The supporting cast who helps me bake the bread includes
Techno King, John C. Brandy, Fact Checker, Abraham Lincoln, Script Consultant, OpenAI, Language Consultant, Ever Evolving, Media Expert, Favor Abassi EK, Psychologist, William James, Rabbit Hole Advisor, Dr. Mark Barrett, Sound Designer, Goodly Amo Marconi, Videographer, Alfred Hitchcock, Inspiration, many podcasts and other sources, and of course Napoleon Hill.
We also have websites, and you can subscribe to both podcasts and get ebooks and other great stuff. You can send us a video, audio, or text message, but of course, you'll have to head to the show notes, either on your phone or on the web, to actually get links and stuff. And those clickable links are in the show notes.
And before we forget, the artificial intelligence or AI voices you hear in our work come from Google, Amazon Polly, OpenAI, and the online tone generator linked in the show notes.
Finally, you can find us on podmatch.com and matchmaker.fm, where we consider guests and guesting on other pods.
And really finally, the music for our pods comes from Cute by Ben Sound and from Piano Background by Nick Simon Adams. The sound effects credits go to Jackson Academy Ashmore, Canoe CG, Dr. Jekyll, Joe Payne, Everything Sounds, MK Play More Stories, ERH, Sand Emotions, Big Pickle 51, and Just Good Inc. Yes. That's his or her name, all on freesound.org.